King of Sports, New Japan Pro Wrestling.
It's a special LA Dojo Showcase edition of New Japan Strong. Hi, everybody. I'm Kevin Kelly along with Alex Kozlov, and we will take a deep dive and see how the Young Lions are progressing here on this episode. We've got a fantastic main event coming up, but we'll open, Alex, with the DKC one-on-one versus Kevin Knight.
So these guys are actually tag team partners, but today they get to face each other because this is the LA Dojo Showcase, and they have so much to prove. And I cannot wait to see this matchup.
One match I cannot wait to see. Clark Connors one-on-one, Alex Coughlin his opponent.
Clark Connors, the captain, the Wild Rhino, going against the walrus that is Alex Coughlin.
And that main event I talked about, how about this? Karl Fredericks versus Ren Narita.
Wow, I cannot wait for this one. The Ren Narita has been on such a roll, but come on. This is the Alpha Wolf. Ooh.
All right, we'll head to the ring in just a second. The LA Dojo Showcase underway.
オープニングマッチ15分一本勝負を行います。
Alex, you brought up a very interesting point in our open. These two are tag team partners, but now each representing their own interests, fighting for supremacy within the LA Dojo. The DKC out first.
I really like his headband. And I have to say, Kevin, the DKC has been very impressive as of late. He has certainly been improving. He's in much better shape. And now we see Kevin Knight, who is so athletically gifted.
So you got to pick a winner here in this one.
Boy, this is a really tough one to call. Both men are very intense, and we know how scrappy the DKC is, even though he's the smaller man, but he's been improving. And, you know, he came into the to New Japan Strong as anybody else. You know, he was scouted, he was recruited to be part of the New Japan Strong show, and he decided, you know, he noticed that he was challenged by the competition here on Strong, and he decided to ask Shibata to take him in and train him, to mold him. And he is now a young lion, part of the LA Dojo, and has been getting the valuable, you know, training by Shibata.
You still haven't picked a winner.
So
You're filibustering.
Kevin,
you can't pick a winner, right?
It's so tough to call. You know, I'll tell you who I want to get the
Ooh,
win.
high waist lock takedown there. High waist lock takedown. Nicely done by Kevin Knight.
I'm going to give it to DKC.
You know, I'm leaning towards DKC as well because of his submission game. Kevin Knight is an explosive athlete. He shoots the half there and puts Kevin Knight's shoulders down, does the DKC. While the DKC came into the dojo system with more wrestling experience than Kevin Knight. And when you train with Shibata in the dojo, you have to unlearn and then relearn the Shibata way, the dojo way. So it's very difficult for athletes to forget everything and learn new. But I would give the DKC a slight edge only because of his submission prowess. We'll see how it unfolds.
And you're absolutely right. He's, as you can see right here, has a really strong ground game, which he's going to need here. You know, it's almost like technique versus power because Kevin Knight is very powerful, but he's also very technical with everything that he throws. That is why it's so hard to call this one.
We've seen the improvement of both of these athletes. In fact, all of the LA Dojo representatives. And I think this is a good opportunity here on this edition of New Japan Strong to take the temperature of everyone involved, because we got 3 straight-up singles matches between guys who train together tirelessly every day, as Kevin Knight is introduced to the backhand of the DKC, and now Kevin Knight pops him with a forearm and then a nice uppercut shot.
Now here's the thing, these guys are fighting each other every day in the dojo as part of their training. So we don't know who has the upper hand in the trainings. You know, one of these guys sometimes gets the upper hand and they are the ones coming in with more confidence. You know, so we will have to wait and see.
Back on the 1st of August, we saw Yota Tsuji and Yuya Uemura wrestle their final matches. Wait a minute now. Kick out after 2. We saw them wrestle their final matches before going on excursion. And we'll see what the future holds for both of them. And obviously, both the DKC and Kevin Knight anxiously await the day when Shibata hopefully will give them the blessing to move on and be on their excursion. It's a very interesting time in the athletes' lives. The kitchen sink, the knee right into the midsection, and the DKC goes down hard. Now Kevin Knight on the move. This is an element that the DKC cannot match Kevin Knight. Straight line speed, huge lift in his legs. Kevin Knight, very explosive. And you can see it there as he gets the near fall. When you look at Kevin Knight, Alex, obviously he came trained already. He had trained with the late, great Buddy Wayne, my good friend, who passed away tragically up in the Pacific Northwest, the same school where Clark Connors originally trained. But a college football athlete, tremendous athlete, is Kevin Knight. How high is Kevin Knight's ceiling, do you think? How far could he go?
I think he has unlimited potential. He is well built. He is a true athlete. And what's even more impressive is that everything that he throws at you, you know, whether it's a submission, whatever he knows how to do, he does it well. He's quite technical, and he's getting it down, and he's polishing that with Shibata.
I think Kevin Knight might have a higher ceiling than the DKC, but that's not a slight on the DKC. Athletes like Kevin Knight don't come around very often. The DKC, though, could have a good long career in the New Japan system with effort. He is going to have to out-effort every opponent that he faces, and I think he's doing a great job carrying the fight to Kevin Knight here. Even though he's turned it around now, has Kevin Knight, and is opening up in the corner. And a full body slam. He'll go for a cover. Nick Bonanno counts 2 and no more as the DKC gets that shoulder up.
Yeah, and look, Kevin Knight is a heavier opponent. He's bigger. But DKC, you know, as he's proved time in and time out, he's very scrappy. He's a very scrappy individual. He will fight to the very end.
So now Kevin Knight controlling things with the rear chin lock. Obviously, everybody is in tune with the latest goings-on in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and also right here on New Japan Strong. A quick reminder for new viewers, NJPW1972.com is a fantastic website for a ton of resources, as now they're standing toe-to-toe trading.
Here
comes Kevin Knight off the ropes. Whoa!
Look at that jumping Jean-Claude Van Damme Karate Kid. I love it.
And you can see the welts rising on the chest of the DKC. But now, looking to add some welts of his own to the chest of Kevin Knight as the DKC hammers away. Now sending Kevin Knight into the ropes. Cuts the leg out from underneath him. And a bulldog.
And DKC is very impressive, man. He's really tightened up his game as of late. Jumping karate chop.
Cover! And a kick out.
Ooh. Look at those stiff kicks across the chest of Kevin Knight.
His technique is good on those kicks,
yeah,
though,
no
right,
doubt
Alex?
about it. Great accuracy, too. Look at that. Take the wind out of you.
And now, the danger when you get moving. Kevin Knight shows some of that explosion. And the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker puts the DKC down.
Man, these guys are just going at it. What an exciting way to open the show.
DKC trying to cover up. Kevin Knight fighting through. And the frog splash, a standing frog splash from Kevin Knight. The leg hooked and a kick out.
Oh, wait a minute. He's going for the Boston Crab here.
I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of this attempted here on this episode of New Japan Strong, the LA Dojo Showcase, and the Dojo staple. But how about this?
And there's the ground game of DKC, his ability to turn something like that into a submission. And he's got the legs wrapped around the neck, cutting the blood flow to the head. And somehow Kevin Knight able to see where he's at in the ring, or just by intuition, able to reach for that rope. Look at those karate chops over the neck of Kevin Knight.
Same type of chops that the DKC would break boards during his karate days, and just drills Kevin Knight. Now the fireman's carry. Back to the roots, looking for the submission here.
And look at this. This is something new that we've been seeing as of late from DKC, as he puts him over his knee and just clobbers him with those karate chops. Oh.
And here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Was that a crucifix attempt?
Yeah.
It might have been, but Kevin Knight powering through. DKC is on his back, tenaciously hammering away. Crucifix. Oh, my, Wade, shoulders down.
The way that he was able to swing him over and slam him. And look, continuing with the submission here, pulling on that neck. Kevin Knight completely wrapped up. Will he be able to get to the ropes?
He's going to have to do it with his legs as the arms are completely trapped. And putting the squeeze on the carotid artery before Kevin Knight passes out, he's able to get to the ropes and force the break.
Man, this has been so far an exciting back and forth action between the two.
They are putting in the work, no doubt. Can the DKC put him away? He's going to go for broke here. Oh!
Kevin, ever seen the movie White Man Can't Jump?
And now the full Boston Crab.
Oh, and he's got that tight. Look at that. Look at that extension. Look at that. Pull him towards the middle of that ring. He's going to break his back.
DKC on that plank trying to drag his body to the ropes. He's going to, no, he's not going to get there. And now sitting down fully.
Look at
fully
that
and having to
extension.
tap out.
Oh, my God.
Time 9 minutes and 44 seconds.
Well, Kevin Knight takes it after a hard-earned fight. I mean, this was a fight. You have to admit, what an exciting match.
Well, Kevin Knight was able to outlast the submission efforts of the DKC and use that explosive energy to get the victory here on the LA Dojo Showcase on New Japan Strong.
第2試合20分一本勝負を行います。
Well, this is another pick'em for me, Alex. Again, Alex Coughlin has been so impressive physically. Clark Connor's a little bit more advanced right now, but I don't see a huge separation between these two. As great as Clark Connors has been, I think Alex Coughlin is very much his equal, and I think this is one that Alex Coughlin can win, where technically he'd be beating somebody who's advanced beyond where he is. Alex Coughlin yet to graduate.
Absolutely. I think that Alex Coughlin certainly has all the tools. I think the only thing playing against him is, the confidence level. Is he as confident as the captain, as the Wild Rhino? Wild Rhino has been on a roll. Alex Coughlin hasn't really broken out just yet, but he's been challenging himself, no doubt about that.
I think it annoys Alex Coughlin that he still has to come out to the LA Dojo theme, and that he still is restricted wearing the black trunks and the black boots, while Clark Connors has graduated and gets to express himself a little more. Custom music, custom gear. That's one of the perks of graduating.
And how about this track? I love it.
It's good. I dig it. The Wild Rhino, the captain. Clark Connors is going to look to own the ring once again and not fall prey to a super motivated Alex Coughlin, who is looking for the same blessing that Katsuyori Shibata gave to Clark Connors, and that is, you are ready to graduate. Congratulations.
赤コーナー冷凍73センチ92ワイルドライダークラッシュコーナーズ
Alex, the interesting thing to me is that you could see matches just like this at the LA Dojo any afternoon, because this is what they do day in and day out. They wrestle each other in tag team matches, singles matches, doing drills. So they know each other inside and out, and they're very little secrets.
Absolutely. They're no strangers to each other. They know each other's weaknesses and strengths. And so the question is, will Alex Coughlin be able to take advantage of all the knowledge that he has of his old buddy from the LA Dojo system?
And it'll be a good, hard-hitting, sportsman-like contest. They will be aggressive. They will do whatever it takes to win. And Alex Coughlin has been testing himself against much tougher competition as of late, and has taken on the likes of Josh Alexander, Alexander James, other names that continue to come. So I think what Alex Coughlin can rely on is that he was able to hang with those experienced veterans and was able to do well. So we'll see how that benefits him here against Clark Connors.
Well, what's even more impressive is that he's challenged himself against those guys. He was able to, stay in the game, despite the losses. He comes back every week, still here, still as motivated as ever. And I love the attitude on Alex Coughlin.
And for Clark Connors, who has a side headlock, of course, his best days lie ahead. He is itching for any travel restrictions to be lessened, to be able to head back to Japan, to get in the mix in New Japan Pro Wrestling side headlock takeover like Clark Connors, and has had good tag team success with TJP. So I know he's benefited from his knowledge base. And rolling back up here, it's going to be a very, I think, cautious match, because if you try to get risky here in this, the opponent that knows you so well could take advantage. And they're trying to bulldoze right through each other. Clark Connors changes direction, and boy, Coughlin was ready.
And that's that right there. What we're talking about is they know each other so well. Alex Coughlin knows about the captain's techniques of misdirection. He had him scouted.
And Coughlin hammering away on Clark Connors. Now, one thing that Clark has that's an advantage over Coughlin after that body slam. Hey!
Oh, God, I felt that.
That takes your breath.
Oh, my God.
And he kicks out at one. Clark has the ability to put more of his own wrinkles into his offensive arsenal. Coughlin is still working within the confines of the dojo system, and therefore has a more limited moveset than Clark Connors does. But Clark doesn't stray too far away from the base. You could tell he's going to be a guy that is going to win with fundamentals, power, strength, intensity, and answering the call like Coughlin gave him one, so he's going to answer right back.
And see, the thing is, and yes, you're right, Clark Connors has truly made an example of what the fundamentals can do for you. You actually don't need anything more than just a limited moveset that Shibata has allowed you to have. You can win your matches with just those moves if you can perfect them.
And that's the key. That's the key to graduating, is perfecting the moves. The trainees, another cover and another kick out at one. The trainees are not allowed to come to shows, come to events, do anything other than just train at the dojo until they have mastered the elementary basics. Another pinning predicament, Coughlin able to answer. And now the top wrist lock here, pulling the elbow back and twisting that left arm with the left leg grapevine as well.
Make it much more difficult for Coughlin to move or to escape the submission here, the way that he has that left leg wrapped. Look at the torque he's got on Coughlin here. Coughlin, though, he's a physical specimen.
Yeah, no doubt. We can see that here as he gets back to his feet and uses that power. And now Clark Connors sets and throws him. A snap suplex where he just released his dojo mate. Here's a cover and a kick out. One benefit that Clark Connors has is that he's able to get his own place. He doesn't have to live at the dojo anymore. He doesn't have to do the cooking, the cleaning, the daily chores. But he's still, day in and day out, training at the dojo. He just gets to go home and have a life outside of it.
He doesn't have to hear anybody snoring next to him.
Double axe handle. Clark Connors looks very confident right now. And now another suplex attempt. But Coughlin puts the brakes on it. Look at this.
Wow.
Amazing strength displayed by Alex Coughlin.
Oh!
Last 5 minutes.
I cannot do this, Kevin. I cannot watch this.
You must. It's your job.
Oh,
it's
Lord.
our pleasure. I know what you mean, though. It's brutal. And now some strength here from Coughlin as he's pulling Clark Connors up. One thing that Katsuyori Shibata had told me about Alex Coughlin, he said he wants to see him mad. He's never seen him mad once.
He is.
I can't imagine somebody like Coughlin getting really upset, really angry. Wait a minute, change your direction.
Wow.
Oh!
Catches him with a pounce out of nowhere in the ribcage area, too.
He was working on those ribs earlier on, was Clark Connors, and delivers the pounce, launching Coughlin all the way into the far neutral corner.
Now, typically, you're in danger when you're within distance of your opponent, within arm's reach. With Clark Connors, when there's a separation, it's also very dangerous because he can catch you out of nowhere with that spear.
Again, it's that quick change of direction he was able to put to good use. Massive chop into the chest. And now Clark, no, reversed, and Coughlin follows right in. Belly-to-belly suplex if he wants it, and he does. Whoa!
My God.
And now deadlift position.
Oh, beautiful backdrop.
1, 2, and a kick out.
Wow.
A kick out by Clark Connors, but impressive strength and technique by Alex Coughlin.
I don't typically see Clark Connors getting tossed around, being manhandled such as we're seeing it right now.
Well, so far it has been a very even contest. Each man has had the other in position to push forward towards a conclusion. But now Coughlin is in the driver's seat.
Beautiful bridge suplex here.
The fall-away slam with the bridge, and Clark is able to get that shoulder up. But now we'll transition to the single-leg variety of the Boston Crab.
Beautiful.
Kevin Knight submitted DKC with the full Boston Crab in our opener, and now the half crab, which targets different muscles, Alex.
It does, and you know the advantage here is that Coughlin can move, change the angle. You know, as Clark Connors tries to reach for the rope, you have a little bit more movement on the offensive.
And Clark now beginning that arduous crawl towards the bottom rope. He is unable to get there, though. And now Clark pushing up, trying to get there. Boy, Coughlin timed that perfectly.
Well, I gotta say, Clark Connors is in trouble. Wow, able to get to the ropes.
The key for Connors was able to get the left knee underneath
You have to
and was able to get to the ropes.
you have to think that Coughlin is gaining more and more confidence as the match is going by, as Coughlin is staying on top of Clark Connors.
And Clark with a death grip on that top rope, and how can you blame him? somebody strong and as intense as Coughlin trying to pull you over. And now charges in. Coughlin left himself wide open. The spear right through the midsection.
What did I tell you? You know that you have to be careful with Clark Connors. When there's enough space between you and him, he can catch you out of nowhere. What an intense spear.
And he got all of it, too. Caught Coughlin by surprise. And full impact drives Coughlin to the mat. Now, Clark Connors.
Watch out, watch out.
And, oh!
Wow.
The elbow drop, pushing the face of Alex down, getting a near fall, bouncing his head off the mat. Now going to the top rope.
Wow.
Watch this. Oh! Leg hook, 2, and a kick out. Almost a Shingo Takagi-like elbow drop from the top.
Beautiful with the elbow across the sternum off the top. That really took the wind out of Coughlin here.
All right, now Connors sending him to the ropes, looking for the power slam. Coughlin sidesteps. Oh, leaping shoulder tackle.
Coughlin certainly still in the game. Oh my, Kevin. It feels nice to be sitting here behind the commentating booth when I see something like that. Oh!
There's a snap power slam, and now Clark Connors. Here we go, looking to put him away.
Oh, that is it.
Straight up and down, shoulders down 2, it's over.
Time, 10 minutes and 44 seconds. Here's your winner, Clark Connors.
Well, you knew it was going to be intense, you know it was going to be even, and you knew that both guys were going to give it their all. That's exactly what we saw. Clark Connors got the win, but certainly not because of anything that Alex Coughlin lacked. Mr. Kozlov, I would say Alex Coughlin, to me, looks as good as anything. I mean, what else does he have to do to make that leap to graduate?
I think he's so close to breaking out. I think we got to see some wins now. I want to see him collect a string of wins now because he's got all the tools and he's looked impressive in his most recent bout. I mean, look at the damage that Clark Connors has taken in this match. Certainly respect earned.
So Alex Coughlin looking up at the lights once again, looking up at Clark Connors. And Clark telling the ringside attendants, let Coughlin get up on his own. He doesn't need any help. Clark was in that very same position many times. I would pay money to be able to.
Oh.
All right, well, there's a good show of respect, love between competitors. And Clark Connors is your winner, folks. Hey, Karl Fredericks goes one-on-one with Red Narita coming up in just a few in our main event. This LA Dojo Showcase, such a special time. And we hope you fans are enjoying it right here on New Japan Strong. Clark Connors is your winner. Fredericks versus Narita coming up.
LA Dojo. I came here 3 years ago. The kid with 3 hairs on his dick. Never had a beer in his life. Had no idea what he was doing. I came with 2 of the best goddamn people I've ever met with my life. Karl and that man, Clark. The man you just saw pick my ass up, splat me on the ground, and pin me shoulders down, lights up at the ceiling. 1, 2, 3. This isn't the first time we fought. If any of you have done your research, our debuts were against each other. our histories are intertwined until the days we die. However long that may be. I thought this was my chance today. He beat me in the first match I'll never forget. In front of his family, in front of all those people. But man, we fought each other again at the Young Lions Cup. I got his ass. I made him tap. Nobody makes that guy tap. I did. And last time we fought, if you remember, first show, Lions Break Collision. The main was me and him. I was this close to doing it again. Anyone with eyes could see I was that close. That man I fought today, that wasn't Clark. That was the wild rhino. I've trained with him every day since I moved out here. I thought I knew everything he did. He's different now. He's better than me. But you know what? He was the captain. Now I'm the captain. He's a changed man. Clark, I swear to God, if you go to that main roster, if you go over to Japan, anywhere around here, if you get your ass kicked before I graduate and get a chance to do it myself, I'm gonna kill you. I love you. I'll see you again soon. This is what I live for.
All right, keep up the hard work, guys. Hey, Royce, where's this one going?
Parts unknown.
Tocon Shop Global. We ship worldwide.
Why, buddy? You finished those Okada orders yet?
Yeah, with the new Team Filthy shirt, papi.
Genius. Eso, mi gente.
The stars of today and the legends of the past come together on your smartphone. NJPW Collection. Pick up cards from special draft events. Use your collected cards to form your own faction or exchange them for limited edition special cards. Check in live from venues or remotely from home to get special tickets and items. Add all of New Japan Pro Wrestling to your collection now. NJPW Collection.
お待たせしました。本日のメインイベント、30分一本勝負を行います。
What an interesting main event this will be here on the LA Dojo Showcase. This episode of New Japan Strong Fighting Spirit Unleashed, folks, gets underway next week. You definitely want to tune in for that one, as Leo Rush will make the climb towards Filthy Tom Lawler, the Strong Openweight Championship, but we'll wrap up this edition of Strong with the battle of rivals from the 2019 Young Lions Cup bout.
Narita!
That's right. An interesting fact is that Karl Fredericks, who won the Young Lions Cup 2019, he took a loss to Narita in that tournament. But, you know, he did go in with a shoulder injury, so you could say that that's why he lost. And maybe, you know, tonight could be an opportunity for Karl Fredericks to avenge that loss.
It was the only loss that Karl Fredericks suffered in the tournament. He had injured his shoulder in training just before the match with Narita, so you certainly could make that as an excuse. I think Karl Fredericks looks at it as motivation to get that win back here tonight. Ren Narita, of course, is looking to break out in his own way while he's on excursion. And I think that this matchup is going to be very even. I'd give Karl Fredericks the slight edge, but we'll see how things go. Karl Fredericks can't get too preoccupied with the past. He has to focus on the now.
NWA 投手185センチ約アルファウルカルー・フレドリックス
And Ren Narita has to focus on Karl Fredericks and put to the side his recent frustrations, Alex, with Fred Rosser of all people.
Yeah, he certainly had some beef with Fred Rosser as of late, but he will have to focus on the man in front of him, the Alpha Wolf. Let me ask you something, Kevin. You know, if Narita, you know, with everything that Narita has done here in New Japan Strong, you know, having the opportunity to tag with Nagata, you know, some of the battles that he's had, including a big win over, you know, Chris Dickinson. Do you think if Narita can actually beat Karl Fredericks tonight, do you think he's ready to hang up the Young Lions attire?
Well, I think it's an interesting call. I think Ren Narita is very comfortable in the Young Lion attire. And again, there's a striking physical similarity between him and Katsuyori Shibata that can't be denied. And Shibata always wore black trunks, black boots, never strayed too far away from the formula. So I'm not so sure. But I think that this will benefit Narita a great deal because he is itching to get back to Japan. The excursion never has an end date specified. It's over when it's over, when they feel you're ready. So I think this will be an important victory if he's able to catch it here on Karl Fredericks.
Or do you think that he needs to grow some chest hair first?
I don't know if he
can. Or
can.
do you think he simply needs to grow a chest?
Listen, you want to talk. Usually you're giving Fred Rosser the grief. Now you're going to give it to Ren Narita?
I'm not giving anybody any grief. I'm just hypothesizing here. What would it take for him to move to the next level? Because he's had quite a run here at New Japan Strong. You got to admit.
I think again, it's opportunity. It's, you know, where is he going to fit on that main roster? What division will he compete in? He's still growing. He grew 3 centimeters in the dojo system before he came over here on excursion. He's still filling out. He's a very young man.
Still no chest hair, though.
Name me a Japanese wrestler with chest hair. Go ahead, I'll give you time.
Wait a minute. Look at Narita being the aggressor here.
That's what I thought. Yep, Fredericks tossed to the outside. And Ren Narita claiming the advantage. I'm sure that caught Karl Fredericks by surprise.
Well, and, you know, Ren Narita has to come into this match with some confidence. He's got that win over Karl Fredericks from the Young Lions Cup.
That was the only blemish that Fredericks suffered in that tournament. He defeated Shota Umino in what was termed by many, including the press that were covering the event from Tokyo Sports, an upset. The only one who wasn't surprised by that victory of Karl Fredericks was Karl Fredericks himself. He's a consummate, confident athlete, and he wants the ball in his hands at all times.
No doubt about it. And what I like about Karl Fredericks is that, you know, he's got a mean streak in him. You know, he comes to fight. He's intense.
Ooh. Boy, he stepped into that tackle. Ren Narita was looking to put Fredericks down. Usually the athlete hitting the ropes, coming off with the momentum, is able to take down his opponent, but Karl Fredericks put Narita down. And now he'll try a cover. Narita kicks out at 1. So Ren Narita pitched Fredericks out to the floor, and Karl Fredericks has come back in much more aggressive. He's not going to be able to take Ren Narita lightly, in spite of the fact that Fredericks has faced the likes of Filthy Tom Lawler, coming oh so close to becoming the strong open weight champion. Narita wiping away that chop.
Just trading hard elbows. Oh,
Oh!
Oh, that's for the loss from before. How about that?
Oh, yeah, there's receipts for that loss. He's got the receipts lined up. Elbow. Karl Fredericks basically was a one-armed fighter when they battled at Cork and Hall in the Young Lion Cup. Now Ren Narita is down. A kick out at 2. But Ren Narita did the smart thing. He took advantage of it, and he got the win.
To be fair, every athlete that comes into the ring, they all have their nagging injuries that they don't always disclose, because if you can hide it, don't give it away to your opponent, something that would be taken advantage of. So, the shoulder injury was obviously very difficult to hide, but they're all coming in with their own little injuries.
Now reversed off the ropes, and the kitchen sink knee catches Narita just north of the belt line. Narita took a hard fall as well. That knee caught him by surprise, and capitalizing on that opportunity, Karl Fredericks stomps right away. Good luck getting breath in to your lungs, Ren, as he kicks out at 2, but Narita is on the receiving end.
Could you also make the point about Karl Fredericks, despite his super impressive run here on New Japan Strong,
5 minutes is elapsed. 5 minutes.
Does he fall short in big match pressure cookers? He challenged Tom Lawler for the strong openweight title. He wasn't successful, even though he hung in there for 18 minutes. He could not beat Kenta in their singles match. This is another one of those matchups here. It's the main event of the LA Dojo Showcase. Will he be able to overcome? This is a big match.
So that kick there, now underneath the clothesline, and Ren Narita dials up the spinning heel kick, flying across and nailing Fredericks. You make a fair point, but Fredericks is still learning. Just because you graduate from the dojo, that doesn't mean you're an immediate contender for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. It means that you go from the top of the Young Lion class to the bottom of the main roster. And you've got to work incremental gains to make that climb as Ren Narita charges across and drills Fredericks with the elbow. And now it's Ren Narita's time to shine. The half hatch in the bridge, and Jeremy Marcus almost counts 3 before Fredericks is able to kick out. And now looking for, he's got that leg. I thought maybe he was going figure 4. No, instead he's going to look more of an Indian deathlock here. So Fredericks is having his quads and his hamstrings pulled, groin muscles pulled, as Ren pushes down on his knees.
Fredericks trying to fight from the bottom here with everything that he has, but the excruciating pain that he's in right now from the submission. Ren Narita putting the pressure on those knees there.
And Karl having to carry all of Ren's weight and his own to get to the ropes in that painful leg lock. And Narita is working on the legs. Well, that'll certainly slow down Fredericks' ability to move, as Ren Narita, who targeted the right arm when they met in the 2019 Young Lion Cup, now is going after the legs, and the double leg dive, thinking Boston Crab. Oh, wait a minute. Narita special. Rolls him back in.
Oh, and look at that.
And now into the cloverleaf. So Ren Narita pulling back, and Fredericks in a great deal of pain. Karl trying to stretch all of that 6'2" 2.5" frame, and does. Gets to the bottom rope, but Karl Fredericks is in a lot of trouble, Alex.
No doubt about it. But Ren Narita is staying on top, and he's, got Karl Fredericks in a compromised position. And look, if Ren Narita wins this time, there's no excuses. There's no excuses here.
Yeah, Fredericks came in 100% tonight, as did Ren Narita. And now looking for that belly-to-belly suplex with a bridge. That has been a lights-out finisher for Ren Narita.
Oh,
swing and a miss, a Pele kick.
Just knocking Ren Narita off his feet with that one. Right on the forehead. Man.
That was risky for Karl Fredericks, but boy, did it pay off.
Oh, it connected.
If he would have missed, Ren Narita would have had him. But instead, connects with the Pele and puts Narita down. He's a big money ball player, Karl Fredericks. And not afraid to take risks. Hammering Narita in the corner. Jeremy Marcus having to pull him away.
Oh!
Boy, the Shibata style drop kick in the corner. And now pulling Ren Narita away from the ropes. The shoulders are down. Jeremy Marcus having to reposition and using the ropes to break up the pinning combination. Ren Narita avoids defeat there, but he is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, things are not looking good. Just like that, you know, Karl Fredericks was able to turn it around. He's putting some damage in Ren Narita.
Could be setting up for Manifest Destiny here, yes. Let's see if he hits it. If he does, it's over. And Narita knows it well.
Oh.
And that, looking for the Cobra Twist.
Karl Fredericks holding on with the other arm here.
10 minutes has elapsed.
Karl's got a wrist
look
lock
at that.
on.
Oh, and
Here we go.
rear naked chokehold.
Rear naked choke. You saw the Katsuyori Shibata style stalling drop kick in the corner from Fredericks, and Ren Narita with the back into the rear naked choke for the second time, but Fredericks escapes. Snapping Ren Narita's spine. And Karl slow to follow up after nearly getting choked out. Ren Narita in a weakened state here. Let's see if he can get Manifest Destiny.
If he can get it, it's over, guys. You can call it.
All right, looking to pull him up.
Narita being aware of the position that he's in, trying to keep his base strong, staying grounded. Trying to push his arms away. Be careful because he can slam him. He's got a suplex out of this.
A struggle, ring center.
And he connects.
And he's got, yes, exactly what you thought, but he couldn't hang on.
Tried to pin him
Now.
there, but his back gave.
Floats over, and Fredericks able to kick out. Ren Narita had to give so much energy up just to be able to deliver that suplex. That following up was difficult. But he's avoided the Manifest Destiny now twice, and it could be Ren Narita's match here. Fredericks again widens the base. Makes the lift on the belly-to-belly near impossible.
Really fighting for it here. Both men knowing the danger that they're in. Look at those succession of headbutts. My God.
Cracks it with the forearm, and now Fredericks answering with a flurry. Oh!
My God.
Absolutely lit up Karl Fredericks. And now Narita, here we go, belly to belly with the bridge two. He got him. Ren Narita wins.
Wow.
Time, 12 minutes and 38 seconds. Here is your winner, Ren Narita.
So Ren Narita, are you surprised, Alex, that Ren Narita won?
I honestly thought that Karl Fredericks was going to avenge his loss here in the main event of the Elite Dojo Showcase. But Ren Narita clearly proving that he's simply the better man. This is the second time.
It was a war, no doubt about it. And Ren Narita gets the win in our main event. And I'll be interested to see what this victory means for Ren Narita. Karl Fredericks had one blemish in the 2019 Young Lion Cup. That was to Ren Narita. But now here on the LA Dojo Showcase, Fredericks unable to get revenge, and Narita wins again.
And Narita proving that his win over Karl Fredericks at the Young Lions Cup 2019 was not a fluke.
If you told me that we could have wrestling like this, just like this, each and every week here on New Japan Strong, I would be thrilled because these matches have been outstanding. Oh wait, we do have wrestling like this every week on New Japan Strong.
That's why we keep coming back.
There's no let up, there's no let up, there's no let down. Every match tries to outdo the other. New Japan Strong is a special broadcast. And now look at this, Mr. No Days Off rolling in with that same smile on his face. What in the world is this?
Well, this is very uncharacteristic of Fred Rosser.
I think Fred's trying to bury the hatchet.
You really
here.
think that?
I think he is. He is applauding the genuine effort, and I think that's what this is all about.
I said, congratulations. You don't want to shake my hand? I said, congratulations. You're my friend. You don't want to shake my hand? I said, shake my hand. You know what, Ren? Look at you. You're young, but you're also dumb. And you need to be taught a lesson in respect.
Oh!
And that fighting spirit unleashed, you're leaving with 3 boots on. 2 on your feet and 1 in your ass. As a lifetime reminder of how badly the suntan Superman, Mr. No Days Off, put a whooping on your ass. Get ready. Do you hear me? Get ready. Because it's time to go to work.
Well, so much for an apology.
I have to say, I'm really digging this attitude on Fred Rosser.
元スーパースターがなんぼのもんじゃい。LA 道場なめんなよ。
Former superstar, he says to Fred, don't underestimate the LA Dojo. Very interesting. A dynamic here that has caught me by surprise, but the challenge has been issued for Fighting Spirit Unleashed, which begins next week right here on New Japan Strong. Ren Narita, Fred Rosser, if they go one-on-one, man, sign me up. I'm down with that. Hey, for Alex Kozlov, I'm Kevin Kelly. We thank you so much for joining us for the LA Dojo Showcase, and we'll see you next week. Fighting Spirit Unleashed here on New Japan Strong.